This after EFF leader was charged with contravening the act after telling supporters to invade vacant land. The charges related to incidents, the first dating back when he was elected EFF president. In 2014, Malema told the EFF's elective conference in Bloemfontein that they would occupy unoccupied land because they needed it. At the time, AfriForum laid criminal charges against Malema. The second case is from June 2016 when Malema told supporters in Newcastle in KwaZulu-Natal to occupy white-owned land. Now, Patricia Visagie is live for us in Pretoria for an update. Hey, Patricia, thank you very much indeed for your time. What can we expect today?
Well, good morning. Another day in court for the Commander-in-Chief of the Economic Freedom Fighters, that is Mr. Julius Malema, who will be, of course, seeing his legal team challenging the country's Riotous Assemblies Act. He is, of course, charged on 2 accounts of that particular act, violating that particular act, relating to 2 separate cases. One, an incident in 2014 in Bloemfontein, where he allegedly incited, or rather urged his members to occupy land according to the country's Freedom Charter. 2 years later, 2016, in KwaZulu-Natal, repeating the same appeal on his members, saying that, again, emphasizing very strongly that they should occupy land as and when they want. So, of course, he stands today in court saying that he wants this particular law that he is charged under to be scrapped. We know that previously he tried to go to the Constitutional Court, where he wanted to challenge the constitutionality of this particular act, saying it is an old apartheid era law under which he is charged, and it is done so in attempt to silence him. So here outside the Pretoria High Court, the mood slowly building up, security and high police presence. We're just going to just turn the camera a little bit so you can see the activity that is building up. There you can see some members of the EFF already there standing by, of course, awaiting the arrival of their leader, who will be making his way into court shortly. You can also see an unusual scene here at the court with the high police presence. There you can see a nyala with barbed wire. So, of course, that means the police are really preparing for high activity here at the Pretoria High Court. Just down the road as well, there you can see more EFF members. Around the corner as another group that is standing by. We expect the numbers of the EFF members that are gathered here in support of their leader, who will be heading to court to, of course, challenge this particular matter. We expect the numbers to swell up gradually. Now, the court case is set for about 9:30, so it will be starting anytime shortly from now. It will be heard by a full bench of judges. Of course, the team will be led by the judge president, and that is Aubrey Lidwaba, who will be, leading the proceedings with 2 other judges, where we will be hearing what exactly the arguments will be. But in short, it still remains more or less the same arguments that we have heard, in April, when the matter was before the Constitutional Court, where basically the EFF leader arguing in court papers that this law is unlawful, it should be scrapped, it should be declared unconstitutional. So obviously the Constitutional Court at the time decided that it's rather best for the matter to be heard by the Pretoria High Court, and they can then decide whether it is constitutional or not constitutional to charge Julius Malema under the Riotous Assemblies Act, rather for violating that particular act. So we'll be hearing, the matter will be sitting for 2 days. It is starting tomorrow, and it is expected to conclude, of course, tomorrow, and thereafter the EFF leader will then essentially know, whether his other court case, that is actually the original court case, will continue, depending on whether the court decides to scrap the law or continue with the law. Of course, if they continue, then it means his original two charges will then stand, and he will then have to be charged for violating the country's Riotous Assemblies Act relating to those two matters, as I said earlier, the one dating back to 2014 in Bloemfontein, and the other relating back to 2016 in KwaZulu-Natal, where he urged party members, EFF party members, to occupy land as per the country's Freedom Charter. We'll be bringing you more details in terms of what is happening here as the crowd swells. As I said, a lot of activities expected, tight security, police are expected to have their hands full. And we can also confirm that EFF leader Julius Malema will be present. Like I said earlier, you saw the EFF members there gathering, occupying the entrance of the High Court, in, of course, awaiting his arrival, which will happen any time from now. We'll try to bring you those visuals live as Julius Malema arrives here at the North Gauteng High Court in the capital city. It's back to you in studio.
Pat, thank you very much indeed for your reporting. We will try indeed to dip in when the proceedings start. Patricia Visagie, live for us in Pretoria. Thank you very much indeed.